Well, first of all, I got started on this through City. I was in the when I was in the broadcast journalism class back in 2013. I was looking for a story about Americans that had chosen to go live down in TJ, but they were supposed to be in a community. And while researching it, I came across the phrase "deported veteran," and as a veteran myself, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Now that because it just those two terms together were formed. That how do you deport a veteran?
Right.
So I've been, you know, where it kind of like with the book, my eyes have been open. Things providential have happened, for me to learn the story.
Yeah.
It just so happened that Veterans for Peace, and that was the last year that they did this. Veterans for Peace used to come onto the Gordon Quad on Memorial Day and Veterans Day, and they would put these tombstone markers in the thing and call it Arlington West. And so I met Jan Ruman and Maurice Martin. I don't know if you remember Maurice Martin.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I met them there, and they are with this group called Veterans for Peace. And so I went to Jan, and I just on some whim asked him. I mean, there was nothing to connect him to it, but it was like you ever heard of this thing, this thing called deported veteran? And he goes, yeah. As a matter of fact, we just brought one back about a year ago. You want to meet him? Yes. You want to interview? Yes. What the fuck? Yeah. Like this. And so he arranges that, and this guy takes me down that rabbit hole, in the interview, and when I get into some of these things, I'm into the story, I'm into what does this mean? What do you mean? It's like you speak Spanish and you're telling me that down there you are an alien because they said that you speak you speak a different type of Spanish, that you have a dialect, and you came down there with a bald head. They don't wear bald heads, so you stuck out. It was like what I would, as a gringo or as an American here, would figure that you would just fucking fit in with other Mexican people. You were isolated because they could tell that you were not real Mexican to them. You were here. So it began that dynamic of learning the story behind the other stories, which was like in this book. There are stories behind behind the story that he's teaching to his son. And he's displaying in front of us. There are stories that are enveloped inside those teachings and stuff. And I try to see a visual portion of that. So I tell his story, and wound up getting
something? I'm sorry. Did you publish that with the City Times or?
It was published in this Professor Castaneda we had this program called Stories de la Frontera that we did at the end of, and so it's on YouTube.
Okay.
And the one you got to do is look for Stories de la Frontera, City College edition or college edition, because she originally had done this format, this show, before she came to City College as a show, I think that was on KUSI or something like that. She had done it, but then she brought it to us as students, and so we began to do stories there. So I wound up getting an Emmy nomination for that, and the people were, Jan and them would take that video, the link, and go to Congress and different places, to use it as a vehicle to teach the story of deported veterans. And then over the years, I would. They'd give me a call when somebody was coming back or event was happening, so as to document it and stuff. Again, like I said, during the course of that time period, at that time period, I haven't come into your class yet, so I'm still,
okay,
I'm still in a situation where I'm following, and this is not a negative to her, but I'm following I'm pushing up against the guidelines that Professor Castaneda is putting out there, because I'm hip hop, and I want that in there. I'm trying to put that in there. And so she started kind of loosening the reins and letting us kind of, get in there, but it was still, the clay still wasn't mine to completely mold and stuff. And then once I moved on out of her class, and I went through that semester in your class, like I said, it was like, well, here, let me try this, type of situation to see where it goes, and in doing so, that garnered more attention from the community that I was working in, because like most of them became, yo, yeah, you're the video guy, you're the guy that's got all the videos, like this, and that's because I was able to I do them in the way that I did those pieces. I do them as me and not as who your student is supposed to be, type of deal. So
Yeah.
that's how in a sense I'm saying I link the two together, is that there was a freedom in understanding, freedom that I could be understood. Let me put it that way. There was a freedom that I could be understood in intelligent circles by just by and still be me. And at the same time, I could advocate for someone because I can actually move people with what it is that I'm saying. Again, that was shown through your class, and through those two projects, through the seat at the table and reclaiming our stories. So a lot of times that's where like some of my energy draws from is going, as I'm going through certain thoughts, and I'm editing my mindset, it goes to that. But what it also did was it helped me to continue to look. That's how I found so many other people, because again, opening that door said there are other doors that could be opened. Okay, so
Yeah. Got it.
even though this was what was here, I'm like, I found out that there could be more, and there's more.
That's beautiful, Jay.